In today's episode of Everything Sucks and It's Only Going to Get Worse, the Trump administration is telling the EPA to stop calculating deaths avoided and healthcare savings from air pollution rules. So the EPA enforces rules stopping sort of air pollutants from destroying humans. And during the Biden administration, there was an effort to calculate, hey, we avoided this many deaths, and because of this, we saved this much money for industries and yada yada. The issue is, though, the Trump administration has always been against red tape in any sort of way. So when they hear you're not, you're keeping this red tape from a business, create, like if I want to chop down a rainforest, I should chop down a rainforest. Obviously, an extreme example, but they always had this mindset of like no red tape equals good. When in my world, I think you should have a healthy balance, if there even could be one. But with Trump and his team, they want to have this business friendly approach, and they want to roll back multiple policies meant to safeguard human health and environment. And to them, I think it's very like short, like hand, like quick fixes, right? Short term fixes that are going to lead to issues down later on the line. But they don't care. Trump is like 80. You think he's going to live to see any of these like actual like, consequences? Nah, they don't care. So when you have Trump saying like, this is stupid, he's also not just saying that like, well, the way they're doing these things and calculating, he's not giving anything wrong with the substance. He's more just saying like, I don't give a shit, because the EPA, what they were doing was they were calculating how much lives were being saved when they were enforcing less of this PM2.5 ozone particle matter, right? Like this pollutant is killing people. So this is how much it's going to save if we enforce it and cleaning the air. And for one, I feel like that's how we should measure humans. Like we should measure humans in a way of like we save this many people, which is great for humanity. But I understand like on a business scale to these people, they're like, well, how much is it saving money? So maybe this was a right approach to sway the business owners, the big heads like the Trumps of the world. But I guess not, because they basically said that the monetization was not correct and the way they were approaching it was not right. The numbers were wrong. See, during Joe Biden's term, the EPA estimated that the proposed rule on their PM2.5, like lessening that pollutant, it would prevent 4,500 premature deaths and 290,000 lost work days by 2032. For every dollar spent on reducing PM2.5, the agency said there could be as much as $77 in health benefits, which is, I feel like, a smart way to approach this economically. But instead of saying that the numbers are wrong, they said, well, I'm sorry, I should go back. They just said in their response, they said, well, the numbers are wrong. And everyone was like, well, what do you mean? And he hasn't provided anything. Trump's response was, these estimates are misleading by failing to include ranges or other qualifying statements. EPA's use of specific estimate leads the public to believe the agency has a better understanding of the monetized impacts of exposure to PM2.5 and ozone than reality. But what does that mean? Like, what do you... Like, they came with this approach where they were showing you how much those 4,500 people's lives could equate to in business terms. But that number itself, the 4,500, is that incorrect? Are you trying to say that they should try to pinpoint how much they're saving for every industry? Because that's also ridiculous. They're just trying to give you this sort of like, this is how we can save both human lives on a moral scale, and then also economically speaking, this is why it's a good thing. To me, I thought that's a smart approach. But to these ghouls, I feel like they're just trying to honestly just find a reason. They said the numbers are wrong. It's misleading. Well, why? I'm just going to take it back. Like, instead of saying like these numbers are misleading, let's figure out why. It reminds me a lot of like the Doge stuff, where the Doge stuff was like, there's all this fraud. Okay, where's the fraud at? We fixed it. Wait, what? And then they still say there's fraud. Like, you had your chance and to tell us where we're wrong in that. It's like when someone tells you like this is wrong, and then they say, okay, cool. And as your response to like, what do you mean? Pinpoint X, Y, and Z is, like there's no substance to these people. Because again, they already played their hands earlier where they said that Trump stated there was too much red tape. Trump has always said too much red tape, too much red tape. Not because too much red tape over something that doesn't mean anything. It's too much red tape, and I don't care what it's the red tape for. It's just too much red tape. Like he already played his hand. He already showed you that he doesn't give a shit about these like climate impacts or the environment or human health. They don't give a shit. He just wants money now. And because what do you think he's going to live to see these changes? No, he doesn't give a shit. So that's the issue. That's the shitty issue with these people and what we're going against. These people who don't give a fuck. This man he's 1 foot out the door. He didn't give a fuck about this. I mean, hopefully we can bounce back and try to put these things back into place. Given how dumb Trump's approach is, though, like how he's doing everything through executive orders, I have good hope that we can. But, of course, we'll see.